Hello, friends. It is with great honor and pleasure to authentically share about the Lionsgate portal. And you may be asking yourself, what is the Lionsgate portal? What does it feel like? What kind of emotions may surface throughout this time? And so the Lionsgate portal peak is around the 8th of August, which is coming right up. And this is when you will feel that Leo energy the strongest. Essentially, the Lionsgate portal is the peak of that Leo energy. You know, Leo is ruled by the sun, and the Leo and the sun energy are at their strongest throughout the Lionsgate portal, which really we've already begun the portal, and it peaks around the 8th of August and then lasts a little bit longer as well. So if you've been feeling the buildup of the strong Leo Lionsgate energy within you individually and within the collective, you're not alone. Perhaps you're feeling inspired to lean into a healthier balance of aligned action, creative expression right now. You're wanting to speak your truth unapologetically. Now is a time to release those emotions and express them in healthy ways, and to release what is not serving you any longer. I know that my intuition has felt heightened to a point where I cannot ignore it. There's more certainty that I can feel on a deeper level, and maybe some people understand what that might feel like, and maybe some do not fully resonate. We're all in a different place, and no judgment regarding wherever you are at. But it all starts with having that awareness and then tapping into those emotions, and then being like, is this my energy or someone else's? And if you clarify it as yours, be like, is this my higher self or spirit? Is this an intuitive nudge or knowing? Yes or no? Knowing that we have to create enough quiet to hear clearly what our intuition is guiding us towards. If we don't have enough quiet, we're not going to hear what our intuition has to say. So it's very important to create a healthier balance of consumption versus creation. Something I'm working on myself. I believe it's a consistent practice, just like anything else, really. And it just takes some willpower and determination, self-discipline to see it through. And as heavy as a time as I've been through lately, in the last few months, in the last several years rather, but it's been very challenging the last few months for me. I couldn't be more clear regarding the direction that I'm going, and I know Leo season has brought clarity and what I want and what my intuition is guiding me toward. I don't care what other people want for me, or I will honor and space for people to share what they think or their ideas. But especially if it's someone who doesn't truly know me, I'm not going to take what they say and be like, that's what I'm going to do just because someone told me no. I never have been, never will be that woman. I very much love marching to the beat of my own drum. I do what intuitively feels right for me no matter what. And now I'm embracing that on a deeper level. So I know that my love for physical therapy and my healing arts modalities can coexist. And I'm leaning into what that looks and feels like. So it's like this activation energy that I've felt to be like, Julie, share more of your gifts and your story, but have healthy boundaries with it as well. Like, find that middle. Don't dim your light just because others don't agree with you, or don't do something just because like someone's like, oh, it's not appropriate, or you shouldn't be sharing that. Don't label yourself or any of this stupid bullshit. It doesn't matter. Fuck it. What matters is that you are brave, authentic, and courageous, and you go after what you want, and you don't let anyone else hold you back. That is the energy that keeps you moving forward. And that is what Leo energy essentially feels like to me. So, this Lionsgate portal is a magical, expansive time that is helping to balance this transitional period for me that has been more challenging than I could fully express in words. And because I'm such an emotional communicator, it is very challenging to try and separate emotion from facts. So hard. But anyway, as people that are able to separate emotion from facts, factual patterns that help me see things differently. And those are people who support me. I'm lucky to have some people like that. Because I know logic does not rule everything. Intuition is far more powerful than I can begin to describe. It's a deep inner knowing that becomes very clear. As I've worked to heal my feminine energy, it becomes more sound to the point where I cannot ignore it, even if I brush something off. The intuition will begin to speak louder and louder until I follow it. Being such a deep feeler and empathic human in this human experience as a spiritual being is truly a blessing and a challenge every single day. And being autistic on top of it just adds a whole nother layer. But I can't worry about making people listen or understand me. I can't control anyone else. I can only control myself. As hard as it is, and as much as that sucks sometimes, it's the truth. But it's very much a time of transition in a very hard way. Very, I don't know if bittersweet's really the right word, but maybe bittersweet in some ways. But there's so much like rage and like I'm so pissed off at several people, but then I'm so deeply upset about what other people have said and done to me. And then I'm very happy and grateful to be transferred into a more aligned place and program so that I can further my gifts and knowledge there instead. I'm energetically done with where I came from. And with that, I mean the prior physical therapist assistant program I was within. I'm done with that. I'm done with the instructors. It's time to move forward. And I know that I deserve what feels better and more aligned energetically for me. Period. The last 2 years have been rough to say the least. But I continue to see and feel out for the silver lining within it all, because ultimately, even though the past few years have been challenging in this first wave of ascension that we are all moving through individually and collectively, all those experiences have brought me here to go where I'm meant to go next. And so with that comes the energetic cleansing, like getting rid of things. Really just separating and creating strong boundaries and not letting other people shit get to me. Placing very firm boundaries so certain people can't reach out to me. You know, it's honestly for the best at this point. And when I've had enough, I've had enough. And I will do everything I can to put an end to it. I will continue to fight until I'm like, it's time to move forward regardless. It's time for me to take my wisdom and knowledge and share it with new people, to learn from new clinicians, and continue on this path and learning and growing through my physical therapy skills while coexisting with my healing arts modalities, because I love both of them and I don't want to be without any of them, because my Gemini rising self just wants to go into all of these areas and share as much quality content and knowledge as I can, while always focusing on the balance of the aligned action creative expression. And that is something the Lionsgate portal throughout Leo season is bringing clarity to a stronger degree. It is the Lionsgate energy that has inspired me to really move forward. It's brought more optimism to a very challenging transitional period. And I'm grateful that I have the knowledge within astrology that I have through a spiritual astrology lens. Because if I didn't have that, it would feel a bit different in ways I don't know how to vocalize. But I care about intention, action, matching, and what I do and what others do. And when I see a disconnect within someone, I'm like, wait a minute, what is this about? as a Scorpio, it can be ironic sometimes, given that it is also hard for me to let go or to even own up to when I'm incorrect. However, that's gotten easier with time and experience. But when I see a disconnect with intention and action within another human, time and time again, I'm like, what's really the problem here? And when said person will not open up and tell me the full truth, that is what hurts. I very much value anyone telling me the truth to my face. I would rather someone tell me hard truths to my face than lie behind my back. I don't care who you are. I do not put up with people who have very immature behavior and lie and are deceitful. I have no space or energy for that. So to go from feeling singled out from several people in a previous program to feeling out and looking and pursuing the transferring process to a more energetically aligned one, there's all sorts of emotions. It's like I am in this duality of energetically releasing and cord cutting while I am radiating toward where I was meant to be this whole time. When I visited, it just felt right. And I was like, maybe I am really meant to go here now, and where I was before truly has led me to where I am meant to be. You know, many years ago, I completed 200-hour yoga teacher trainings. The first one I completed the curriculum for, but teaching wise, it did not fully align in how I needed. So I completed everything but that component successfully. And then a while later, I did another 200-hour training at a different studio, and it was like this great feeling of effort and ease aligning, and it was nothing force, only flow. And this was during like peak COVID time too. So that was challenging in many ways to navigate through for those who experience that, which I'm sure most of you did, who are here anyway. But it's like I'm going through that same experience, but just at another time, honestly. Going from one yoga studio with yoga teacher training to another. When actually during that first training, I was like, do I need to be at this other studio and like transfer to this teacher training? And so it's like my body already knew, yes, you need to go to this other studio and do training there. However, I was like, I'm already in the middle of this one. I want to finish and stick it out. So I did until it reached a point where it was not flowing the way that I wanted to. And one yoga instructor and I just never energetically meshed that well. And so it reached a point where it became very apparent, and I had to speak my truth and separate and leave. But anyway, then it led me to the studio that I was meant to be at. So And now the same similar situation has happened with my physical therapist assistant pursuits. But it's okay. It really just felt that I instantly belonged when I went to this other campus and energetically felt everything out. It was like nothing forced. I was like, this is where I am meant to be. Honestly, this is where I was meant to be. And it's that duality of feeling like I was already meant to be here and that I am meant to be here now. I feel a lot lighter than I did the other day, I'll tell you. Because going through various processes of energetically shedding these layers has been very cathartic and intense. There, like I've said, there have been many moments where I've felt equally pissed off and full of rage and deeply upset. But being such a deeply empathic human, that is completely normal. And it is a blessing and a challenge to feel so deeply. Because people who do not live within that mindset don't get it. Like, I have people in my family that do not understand what being empathic is like. I have people in my family who are not very intuitive at all, and they think logic is the answer. I have people who continue to minimize my autistic self, which is very sad to hear and see, but those are people that I keep more quiet and don't share as much. This is why I choose to share what I share here, because I'm more comfortable opening up and verbally processing here. I guess I've realized how important verbally processing is to my healing journey, and so that's why I'm here. What a whirlwind of emotions in this Lionsgate portal energy. So, astrologically speaking, I invite you to see what placements you have within Leo energy, and then what house any Leo placements are in for you. So, for example, I have Jupiter and Leo in my third house, which the Jupiter piece is about expansion, growth, and abundance. Leo is that brave, courageous, optimistic, headstrong, radiant lion energy, not looking back, stealing the spotlight, is radiating true, authentic nature and everything. And then the third house is communication. The third house is traditionally ruled by Gemini in astrology. And Gemini is about communication, adaptability, duality, as you have the Gemini twins or the two faces. There's this belief that Gemini people are two-faced. May be true for some. I don't completely, absolutely agree with that, but yeah, the third house is how you communicate. So when I communicate, it tends to be very bold. I command energy, which gives me respect in return. Or there's times where I don't have much to say and that energy is reciprocated in return. But Jupiter is in Leo as we speak for the next year, and this is a very expansive time for me and anyone else who has Jupiter in Leo placement to really go after and expand and grow, push myself beyond my self limiting beliefs, to really rise above and spread my wings. This is the time to do everything involved within that. And so that is what I'm going to be doing. That is why I share here. That is why I am transferring to a more energetically aligned PTA program. This is why I'm so strongly focused on having my healing arts and my physical therapist assistant skills coexist as much as I can to create a beautiful duality of both. That is what I want. That is what I've worked so hard for and will continue to do so. And so, throughout the Lionsgate portal, Leo season, as Jupiter is in Leo for this next year, I invite you to get curious about all of those aspects, placements. Really tune into what Leo energy feels like for you, not what it feels like to someone else, only for you, right? Because what I say may not fully resonate, but that's okay. So, as you are ready, if you're listening to this and want to take a moment, I invite you to draw your eyes to a complete close, or you can simply leave them open if you prefer, especially if you're driving or whatnot. Take a moment to find some length in your spine. Maybe bring both of your hands over your heart space. And just take some deep cleansing breaths. A deep, strong inhale. And exhale. Let it go. One more time. Maybe gently move your body whichever way you need to release any areas of tension, tightness. As women, we tend to hold a lot of emotion deep in our hips, our root and sacral chakras, or energy centers. I know I do, especially my left hip and the left side of my body, really. It slowly gets easier through time, but I do hold a lot of emotion on my feminine side of my body, which is the left side. your masculine side is your right. And so I always have to be more mindful and be more cautious and mindful when doing any yoga, Pilates exercises that involve activating or stretching my left side body or my left arm and leg. Because I believe it's very important to tune into how our body feels and what areas are tight. So go ahead, take a moment. In whatever position you are in, seated, on your back, belly, or side lying. And I want you to begin scanning at the head. Just notice what you notice without any judgment placed on it. See what feels tight. Maybe you don't feel a whole lot of anything. Maybe things feel rather balanced for you. Just noticing what you feel. And then when you find a spot, gently imagine directing your inhales and exhales toward that spot to help gently bring more ease within that area. Or more ease just within your headspace. Now move down to your neck. This is where the throat chakra lives. This is your voice, your authenticity, the spells that you speak, because our words are spells. If you need to, as you need to, simply swallow to clear the throat, which will help dissipate the energy that has been left unspoken. And exhale to release it. Just notice any tightness you may feel here. Bring your inhale to any tight spot within the throat chakra space of the neck. And exhale to slowly let it dissipate. Moving down to the heart center, heart chakra space. Notice whatever you notice. Send your breath where you are intuitively guided to release any tension, anything that's not serving you, to help those emotions surface when they need to, as they need to. Especially if your heart has felt rather heavy through an emotional period, whatever that looks and feels like on your end. And just take one more inhale and exhale. Good. Now, come to both of your shoulders and just gently raise both closer to your ears and then circle down and along the spine. So that's up to the ears, and then circle back and down. Now, a lot of us have a lot of tension in our neck and shoulders. And if you notice tension, say in your neck, you're going to have some tension in the shoulders as well, because the human body is very much connected. So send your healing breath to any areas of tension that you feel within the shoulder space. And focus on melting the shoulders down the back and creating more space from the ear to the top of the shoulders. Very nice. Let's move down to more where our diaphragm is. This is around the solar plexus, our creative expression energy center. One that we will focus on tapping further into and aligning with throughout this Leo season, this Lionsgate portal energy that is so strong. Whether you are fully aware or not, I invite you to be curious, notice whatever you feel. Bring your inhale to any tight areas within the solar plexus space, below the breast and above the navel. Focus on sticking the belly out on the inhale and pulling the navel toward the spine on the exhale. Do that again. And once more. Now we will move down to below the navel, our pelvic region, where our sacral chakra is, a space of sensuality, sexuality, owning your confidence with what you do. Which also the solar plexus just above it helps with as well. But this is a deeper, richer, confidence, self-worth. Breathe into this pelvic space. And send your loving energy and light to it. Gently begin to feel this area gently open with more ease. Very nice. Now move down just a little bit further to your root chakra energy center. At the base of the pubic region. where your tailbone is, and then pubic region. Send your loving energy and breath here. As you do, release any tension that you may be feeling here. Gently begin to feel everything ease with your breath. Once more. And now send your love and healing energy to both of your legs. If you need to shift positions now or at any point, feel free to, so we don't have any stagnant energy build up. Okay. Maybe that's bringing your legs out long, straddle straight in front of you, or like a butterfly if you're laying down, however you're comfortable. Find yourself deeply inhaling and exhale. We'll continue that, so inhale and exhale. Send that love, that healing energy down the length of your legs. Down toward the feet. Bring your attention to both of your feet and gently spread the toes out from each other. Maybe point and then flex the toes towards your face. And maybe do that several rounds just to get some blood circulating through the body. Okay. As you're wrapping that up, begin to settle and let gravity take your legs further down, closer to the earth. As if you're melting your body into the earth, even if it's just your lower body. And send your loving, healing energy, your breath, your life force, or prana, so inhale to create that space, and exhale. Feel the energy flow from the top of your legs toward the feet and out through the soles of the feet. We'll do just a few more rounds here. Take a moment of stillness and just tune into your mind's eye, the space between the brows. Just notice what you notice. Maybe you see a color or multiple within the space. If you're tuned to Reiki, such as myself, or maybe you're just very energetically in tune and aware within some other energy. Thank yourself for showing up, because that is the first step toward growth, acceptance, of creating a more harmonious balance of divine masculine and feminine energy within, so that we can go out and share our wisdom and knowledge with others more effectively. Know that we have to give to ourselves first, so that we are not giving from an empty cup. It is so vital that we ground and center our energy before beginning our work for the day. Taking some time, perhaps during lunch or just after, to do the same. And then perhaps again to energetically recalibrate and center in the evening before sleep, or whenever you're feeling energetically drawn to, and when time and space allow, because we all have more time than we credit ourselves for having. That's how we use that time, because time itself is relative. It's how we choose to spend the time and what we do. Focusing on a balance of efficiency and ease, of effort and ease. Thank yourself for being here, for giving back to yourself so that you can go out and share your wisdom, knowledge, and gifts with others within your fullest capacity, and never stop reaching for your fullest potential. Release people and things who have held you back. Let them go. Whatever that means for you. Just take a few more cleansing breaths. Place both of your hands over your heart. Maybe gently bow your head in gratitude. Thank you for being here and for being spiritually curious, open-minded. And for not giving up on yourself and what feels right for you. It's such a pleasure to share my own wisdom and knowledge authentically. And I invite you to do the same. Namaste.